So these are our additions for some shoulder stability and strengthening, and carrying on with that back and core control. So let's go onto your hands and knees and just focus firstly on your shoulder. This would be after doing some of your cats, and a gentle lengthening, lifting the chest. So a few of these just to warm up. And then going into that stability in your shoulder. Some movement to start would be dropping the chest and then pressing down as if you're pushing the floor away, which kind of sets up the shoulder blade. I kind of call it sitting into the shoulders, which is nice and relaxed, but it can be painful. So I'd like you to push down on the floor and bring the chest up inside, not rounding the back, just the shoulders. So we'll do a few, actually moving down and up, just to feel the contrast. Breathe out and squeeze the stomach in towards the spine, and don't let it go, just have that gentle control. Notice my arms are staying straight as you do this scapular press away. So keep this pushing feeling in the floor, wide fingers, abdominal gently in, and that strong held position. And then we're just taking one arm out the side, sideways, not to be high or anything like that, and concentrating more on the stabilizing shoulder, that we're not dropping into it. So we're just alternating the arms to start. And then moving on from that diagonal balance where I had your arm and leg in opposite directions, we kind of added on to the clam, side-lying clam, for your hip stability, which looks like this. The knee kind of hikes out to the side and then comes back in. And the ideal is to maintain the hip placement, your pelvis placement, that you're not lifting to gain height. So just side to side there. So keeping that lift through the chest, the strength in the tummy. After a breather, so of course, sit back and start to feel the stretch around your hips, your knees, your shoulders. Place me on pause at any stage. We're then doing like a diagonal hold, but I'd like you to push the floor away and set up that strong control. Take one arm sideways, stabilizing the opposite one, and the opposite knee sideways in contrast. And then come back to the center. And we're focusing on the stabilizing factor, the shoulder, obviously the hip, and finding your balance. So you keep going with those. Slow is the key. So, it's great to say do 10 or something like that, but I'd say try and maintain it for a few seconds each hold and do a good 30 seconds worth. When you feel that this is getting quite comfortable and you're very stable, the addition would be to have a weight in your hand, the one that you're lifting, and that's just going to add in some stability and more strength really in the back of the shoulder. So just for ease, move straight down into your upper back extension, still about the upper shoulders. Take your hands a little bit wide on the floor and bring your chest up as best you can without pushing your belly into the floor. So feel that you're trying to pull the tummy button up and draw the shoulders down away from your ears as you push up into your elbows. Breathe in as you look forward, breathe out as you come down. Focus on the upper middle back, drawing down to lift the chest and sternum high. Try to avoid lifting the chin. It's more the shoulder blades. So you're pushing up onto the elbows. Now the further back you have your elbows, the further you can push up, that's up to you. After you've done this again for a minute or so, you can take obviously a breather. And when you feel you're ready to progress, you bring your hands closer back so that you can go a little bit higher. But don't rush that one. And then release. So if you could then come into whatever stretch is good, which could be a cat stretch or your sitting back stretch. Swing around onto your back and grab some hand weights or bottles of water. We talked about this, right? From here, you can do your regular movements that I know you know now, which is that moving through the spine, mobilizing the back and strengthening up the glutes. But carrying on with your shoulder, we're going to bend at the elbows using your weights and just push up and down, let's say 10 times, just to get that feeling of strength around the front of the shoulder, a little bit in the chest. They're not heavy weights. So this isn't really working the chest so much, it's really just working around the shoulder joint and girdle. Leave your arms in the air and go again into that scapular retraction. So you pull the shoulder blades out around the back and then you drop the shoulder blades down, almost puffing the chest up. Straight arms as you reach and drop down, plug the shoulder in. Plug the shoulder down. Again, this is really just focusing your attention on this control in the shoulder blade and not just the arm. So if you feel that you're kind of drawing the shoulders down, draw the ribs in just a little bit and then start to take one arm again out to the side and come back up. And we're alternating again. The single arm is really controlling around the sternum and the rib cage as well, and you've got a bit of obliques in the tummy. After you've done 8 to 10, have a rest. We then do a second set, which is almost easier with both arms, 8 or 10. Breathe in, breathe out. Remembering the connection with the rib cage and the tummy. Breathe in, breathe out. From here, an extra one with the focus on the rib cage, the abdominals, is both hands up in the air and hands together. I must admit, I don't remember if this was in the program, but I wrote it down to bring the arms overhead. Let the ribs come up a little way, but then squeeze the ribs in and bring your arms back overhead. So the sort of focus is on the ribs pulling down to help the arms come up. See if you can think of ribs coming down, shoulders drawing down, rather than just thinking in the arms. The word I was looking for is initiation. So initialize the movement with the rib cage, the belly, and then drawing up through the abdominal, down through the abdominals, up through the arms. For your pullover. Breathe in to go up, ribs will flare. Breathe out, stabilize the belly. And then find that secure squeeze in the tummy and the ribs. Hold it there as you scissor. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring both hands down, obviously let go. Grab your knees to your chest. And there you go. That's a little bit of additional stabilization for shoulders and hips.